Welcome back everyone, Mariah here, and in today's video we are going over the price of Bitcoin. We're also going to be reflecting back on what I mentioned in my video yesterday, about the trend line and going over how the price has played out this morning. So Bitcoin is currently sitting at about $98,000. So it's okay if you didn't watch my video yesterday. I'll briefly go over what I mentioned yesterday. So yesterday I mentioned that I was paying attention to this particular trend line on the 4-hour chart specifically. What I mentioned yesterday was there were two ways this was going to play out. Either Bitcoin was going to go ahead and bounce and stay below that trend line, and then I would have waited for room to further to the downside because, as you know, a couple months ago, I sold that off at the average price of about $97,000, and I'm looking to buy back lower. I believe I'm in a time frame where what will invalidate my particular trade will be if Bitcoin closes above this trend line on the 4-hour. So in that case, what I'm going to do is re-enter my position. I think it's still likely that Bitcoin goes into the mid $85,000 range, so I am staying open to that as well. So for example, let's say the Bitcoin breaks above and closes on the 4-hour above this trend line. I'm going to enter back into Bitcoin, ride up that trend as well until that is invalidated, and then probably sell again to see if there is another opportunity to buy down below. So, for example, this morning I was watching Bitcoin. It pumped all the way up to just a little bit over $100,000. As you can see here, there was a massive wick. So this current 4-hour candle still has 3 hours left on it, but the previous one pumped all that way up to $100,000. I could have very easily, right? If I would have steered away from my game plan, I could have easily chased Bitcoin, bought it at 100K, and then I'd be down in the red again. But I stuck to my plan, I remained patient, and I'm still waiting for a close above on the 4-hour. And what I also mentioned in yesterday's video is that depending on how that candle closes, I actually may wait for the following candle to enter. So as you can see, Bitcoin closed just barely below that trend line. Right here, as you can see, it wicked above. I could have chased it, I could have got impatient, I could have not followed my plan, but thankfully I've developed a little bit more patience over the years, and I did not enter or chase because what I was looking for did not play out. Like I said, we currently have 3 hours left on this 4-hour. We are trading below the trend line, and what I'm still looking for is that close above, but it has not happened yet. So if you want to draw this on your chart, because let me tell you what, it's playing out quite well. I have this trend line here from the 4-hour candle that occurred on January 31st, and this is a great trend line. Look how many times it's already bounced off of it. 1, 2, you could say that's 3, 4, 5. So we have a lot of touch points. It's a great trend line. So keeping a very close eye there. Let's go ahead and zoom out to the daily chart. So this is the daily chart on Bitcoin, which I don't really like in particular. You know, that right there is not giving me a lot of bullish confidence by any means. There's nothing really bullish there. Let's see. What I'm kind of seeing a little bit here on the 12 is a bit of a flag, a little bit of a bull flag, as you can see here and here. This triangle is kind of showing you, and then this support line here at about 96,000 is also showing the support for the pole and the triangular flag right there. So, like I said, I am paying most attention to that 4-hour and looking for that simple close above. This is the hourly, and this is exactly why I'm looking. The 4-hour just holds so much more significance because I could have easily been following that same guidance on the hourly. This would have closed above, this would have probably been that second candle. I would have been anticipating continuation, but no, I'm not paying attention to the 1-hour. I don't have as much confidence in the 1-hour. The 4-hour is where it's at. So that's what we're seeing here on Bitcoin. I had a nice little trade today. I haven't traded options in some time just because I really kind of lacked some focus, but I kind of this morning saw a trend. I back tested it for like the last month or so, and then I kind of saw an opportunity to enter. So I had a nice little gain this morning. I mean, it was a very, very small position, but about a 35% gain on a very nice options trade on Coinbase. So I'm not going to go into detail on what I did there because there's no point unless this is what I actually noticed that was interesting. So I back tested it the last month. I'm like, okay, this looks really great. I'm going to go ahead and see if it plays out this morning. It did. I made a nice 35% gain. But what I was also drawing a correlation to, because you can't always draw correlations between Coinbase and Bitcoin, although it seems like the simple thing, like they would always trade in the same direction, that's not necessarily the case. And a lot goes into the fact that obviously Bitcoin's trading 24 hours a day, while Coinbase is only trading during market hours. And what I was kind of paying attention to was seeing, I was looking at Bitcoin, and basically the method that I was following really wasn't working out while Bitcoin was just going straight up. But as Bitcoin has traded in this range right here, it has worked out extremely well. So that was just an interesting correlation that I made. Like I said, I'm going to try it out for several more weeks. If it becomes consistently quite profitable, I'd be happy to share that with you guys. But for now, there's really no point in speaking about that, going into detail prematurely. So let's go and take a look here at Ethereum. So in my opinion, Ethereum looks extremely weak. It tends to lead the way. I went ahead and have a couple of trend lines here. I'm not trading Ethereum, but it's important to look at it because it, like I said, tends to lead the way. On the daily chart, we have this very nice trend line that just has several touch points, quite a few touch points. And then I have drawn a second shorter term one as well that I'm going to be keeping an eye on. So taking a look here at the 12-hour, okay, so interesting. This 12-hour Ethereum, massive bear flag, right? Here, here, here. Let's go back to the Bitcoin. Yes, not as a defined bear flag on the 12-hour, but let's go ahead and take a look here at the 4-hour. So 4-hour here, when it comes to Ethereum, as you can see, the last 4-hour time frame, it was trading above that trend line, but it did not close. It did not close above. This actually could turn out to be a very nice entry on Ethereum as well. So keep an eye on that. Let's take a look at the 1-hour. 1-hour looking weak. Let's see. This is going to be a very, very, very key level here. See if Ethereum can hold about 26.56. Can it hold there? If not, more room to the downside. Just look left, right? Look at all this. I mean, you can use, it's currently basically sitting at the body of the candles, right? But you can also take into consideration the wicks as well. So Bitcoin currently sitting at 97.7. So very simple, right? I have a very simple game plan. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you are following this, what your game plan is, what you think the price is going next. So I have a link down below if you want to join iTrust Capital. With iTrust Capital, you can either start or transfer an existing IRA, 401k, retirement account, and if I had a 401k or any sort of a Roth, which I got to look more into because it's a little bit more difficult when you're self-employed. I've really never had a real job my entire life. I've just always been self-employed, started my own businesses, so got to figure out more information there. But my dad actually just did the transfer over from his, I believe, 401k into iTrust Capital. So that's all that I have for you today. As always, go out there and create a portfolio that you love, and let me know what your game plan is on Bitcoin.